Do I look like I slept for 3 hours? Because I only slept for 3 hours. Fueled by Starbucks. 225 milligrams of caffeine. It's not that much. It sounds like a lot. It's not. Do you like my sword earrings? I'm so tired. A full-time job, and then I have a paid on-call job where I get paid to go and do certain things. And we were very busy last night, so I'm exhausted, but I'm dedicated. So let's get the show on the road. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys had a good 2 weeks. If you're in the Midwestern area or anywhere north, it's cold as hell, so I'm sorry for that. And I empathize with you. This sucks. Today we are doing a book review on another indie author, Amy Huckleberry, Beyond the Line of Trees. I will put an extra bigger picture up, but this is an indie author book that I found online, and first of all, I love the cover. The cover is just sleek. I like it. It's simple. It draws me in. It just looks like mysterious, so you're like, I want to read that. And then like the hint of the red, I don't know, it drew me in. If you could see my tabs, I had a lot to say. Not a lot of positive things to say at first, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The book follows a girl named Ava who lives with her her roommate Kate and their cat Boris. Boris gets out one night during a storm. When Ava chases after him, she finds herself in the woods behind their house and gets lost and falls into this mystical world. She first comes in contact with 3 guys on horseback, and they're talking like, you know, the old English medieval, like, who goes there? That wasn't medieval at all, but what? Who are thou? Oh god. I'm gonna delete this whole thing. She is dropped into this world and she meets the king of the place she is now. I'm trying to find where he talks about. She finds herself in the Elden Forest. It's on the edge of the kingdom of Elden. There are 4 divisions: Elden, Preda, Kaomen, and Westina. And it's the continent that's divided into 4 different regions. And the king that she meets, his name is King Rolf, right? King Rolf. He's the ruler of Kaomen and Elden. And he is also, he can travel through the worlds between there and there. I'm getting ahead of myself again. I'm sorry. And then there's a final kingdom called Cloudana, which is, it says it's never shown on maps, nor do any know how to access its domain, for it is said to float in between the land and the sky. Only its queen can grant entry. But they haven't seen the queen for a long, long time. So, and from there you kind of get more information, and slowly the story grows, and it's her falling between these 2 worlds and where she really belongs. I'll just tell you firsthand, the book is slow going at first. It does not pick up until the middle of the book. It does not pick up. The story does not pick up until about 120. So I struggled severely through the first part of the book. I think that's only because it's a lot of explanation as to what's going on, which can be good. At the same time, I felt like, I don't know, I like jumping right in. One of the things I wish there was is a map. So if Amy, if you see this, please put a map of the continent. I want to see a pretty map of everything. You don't even have to put Cloudana in there. Just a cool map of where everything they've been, where the cliff was, where she nearly died, and then the coast, and where what's his name, the Count lives, and stuff like that. Like gonna be like all the forests and stuff that she was in. She travels so much in this book. It would be nice to kind of see where to reference, because it can be kind of confusing. After a while, I kind of just glanced over those parts when they were like, we're heading west here, and we're doing this, and we're going north. And it's like, well, I don't really have a reference, so I don't really know where anybody's going. So it's just kind of like a fluke thing in my head. But I'm really interested in the map. So if you could throw a map in there somehow in the next book, that would be awesome. Like I said before, it was a slow read. Once you get up to 120, the romance picks up. I'm not gonna tell you with who. There is romance in the book, and the storyline really picks up, and you really get to see like, okay, maybe that's why Ava's here and stuff like that. Like maybe she's drawn here for a reason. Like it just really picks up from there. So if you are one of those people who like, you don't really realize what's really going on and what's the point of the story until like the middle of the book, which can be frustrating, but it was worth it towards the end. Like, I'm excited for the second book. Apparently this is a book of 3, and I'm excited to read the next one, because at first I didn't like Ava, but as you go on, like, I really like how snappy she is, and how she speaks her mind. She's not afraid. She is afraid of things, but she's not afraid to speak her mind, which I like. I was pleasantly surprised about the romance in this book. Like, Amy don't hold back in those romance scenes. This is an adult book. Yes, it really brings it to life, I feel, because it's like you can only push romance so far before it feels kind of like meh. Some things I didn't like about the book, the descriptions. There's a lack of physical descriptions of people. Like, she does describe certain things, but I feel like she doesn't describe Ava enough, given that we are with that character for so long. I'm trying to recall if they even go over like her stature, like what she looks like, and it's not much in there. I don't even think she ever says anything about Rolf's hair color, which bothered me, and I think she only spoke one time of his act. Like, she always said dark eyes, and I think she only spoke one time that they were actually green. So that was bothersome, because I'm a very visual person, and I like to see within the first half of the book, I like to know exactly what these characters look like, so then I can imagine it in my head like a little movie. I saw some spelling mistakes, some grammar issues, which is surprising for me, given if you know me and you know my writing, I'm horrible at grammar and I'm horrible at spelling. But even I notice things in here. If it's an indie writer, you know, sometimes you just can't afford to get it edited, which is completely understandable. And the grammar and the spelling does not disrupt the flow of the book. I would give it a 4 out of 5. If you don't really want to know more about the book, you just want to know if it's good, it is good. It's slow to pick up, but once it picks up, you're like sucked in, which it took me like almost 2 weeks to read half the book, but then a day to read the back half of the book. It is an interesting read. It is a smaller book. It's only about 330 pages-ish, so yeah. These are spoilers, so. The king knew about multiverse theory, but then you find out that he also can travel between like Earth and this world. So it makes sense, but at first I was like, what the hell? I was like, this is so weird. Why does he, like, this medieval king know about multiverse theory? I thought that he had brown eyes, and then I thought that he had green eyes, so I don't really know. There's not really a clean description of him, like I said. And of her, she has blue eyes. That's about it, though. I don't remember what color hair she has. I don't think it describes it much. I think maybe once, maybe brown. Their first kiss, or their first intimate moment, is rather abrupt, and I didn't see it coming. Like, there didn't feel like there was much of a connection. She makes the king very mysterious within the first section of the book. He's like very detached, and I guess that's like how you kind of want to see him, and then it kind of helps to make that romance more apparent in the second half and like show his character development. But yeah, their first kiss was very abrupt, and I was like confused because I was like, where was the heat? Like, I don't know where this started. Like, I know there was like the interest, a little interest, like, I don't know who you are, we're strangers, you're kind of cute though, but there was no like connection really. I mean, other than the fact that they both can travel between worlds. It was abrupt, but I enjoyed the growth of their romance as it went on. You find out kind of the reason she's here around 97, page 97. I won't tell you why, but you kind of get a first hint as to why this is all even happening, why this whole half of the book is even there, and it kind of makes it worth it from there on. And that's when I started to get interested. And then their first actual convo, like the first actual conversation that the king and Ava have together, like it's more than one page, because usually he's like da 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 and then he walks away, da da da, and then like one sentence and then he's gone. And it's like I was getting frustrated with that. But their first actual convo doesn't start until, like I said, 120 is when it starts to pick up, and that's when it starts to get exciting for me anyway. I wrote down some things that I did like about the book. I like the science in the book. There's not a lot of it, but the science that King Rolf talks about, he brings a lot of science to Eldon and Coman and the continent that they're on. He brings a lot of science with him, and then when they do have conversations about like how they're able to travel between the dimensions, I like the science behind it because it makes it feel more real. So she did a really good job about that. She talks about string theory and multiverse theory and some other stuff, and like energy and certain crystals that they use in the continent that can basically produce electricity, which is really cool. Oh, I really like the modern references. I didn't think I would, but there are quite a bit of modern references. They talk about Google, which I was like, I haven't read a book that actually talked about Google ever. Like, it's always like, because you want your books to be timeless, so it's like you stay away from like super modern references, because then people have to look that stuff up and it's just like daunting. If you stay away from like modern like trends and stuff like that, usually your book will be timeless. Anybody could read it at any time and it feels like they're there type thing. But they say Google, and then she says something about Netflix and chill, which I laughed because I was like, oh my god, this is super relevant. But yeah, so I liked that. First book I've read that had modern references, and I did like it. There's a part about a guy named Count Larkin, which it's towards the end of the book, and as you read it, as you go through this part, you're like, is this filler? Does this even have to do with anything? And it doesn't. It feels like filler. It is filler. But at the same time, it's like a mini story within the story, and I really enjoyed it. At first I was like, what the hell? It's just filler. This is so stupid. But as I kept reading, it was like a little story within the story, and I was like blown away with how well the idea was written. Like, she goes into the, like, she's rescued by this man and this woman, and they bring her into the house and they're like, you can stay as long as you want, blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, and they're like, have food, have drink, you can do whatever you want, these are the rules, we don't talk about, you know, business and stuff. And as time goes on, she's like, as you read it, you can notice that she's not talking like herself, so you're very like, what's going on? And then there's a big twist and you're like, holy crap, oh my god, this is so cool. And then she has to, and then there's like a big like escape and stuff like that. Super cool. I would say for an indie author book that somebody just did themselves, it is really good, and I'm really excited to read the next book and see what happens to Ava. I'm rooting for this girl. She's a bad beach. As of now, I do not have another book that I'm reading. I said I was reading like 3 books the last time, but I kind of held off. I was really trying hard to finish Beyond the Line of Trees. Like I said, I was struggling through the first half, and then the second half picked up and I really fell in love with it. I probably will start reading King of Scars because I've been really wanting to, and then I have a lineup beyond that I've been putting off that I really need to read. So I will also get into those, but as of right now I do not have a specific book, another specific indie author book that I'm going to be reading soon. I will let you guys know. As you guys know, I'm trying to switch off between every 2 weeks. I'm gonna do something different. So next week I'm probably not gonna do a book review. I don't know yet. I might do another like book tag, or I might do gifts for readers, book tag, like new booktuber tab, so it's just more about me. Good books to read for first time readers. So if you guys might want to put in the comments which one you want to see, that would be really cool to help me out. I might put a quiz or like a poll on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at LF Sites Books or Leonora Sites. If you want information about my books, any book reviews that I have, I try not to do blog book reviews that I do on YouTube and vice versa, so you will not see this as a written book review, but I have plenty of book reviews on my website at leanorsites.com, so if you want to check those out, it's up to you. So if you are interested in watching more of my videos, subscribe, ring the bell, or you can follow me on any other social media site. I try to be active every day. It's not always the case given I work 2 jobs essentially. All right guys, it's been a long minute and I'm ready to take a nap. Unfortunately I can't because I have a bunch of other stuff I have to do. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.